Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today I have been tagged for the first time. I have been tagged by Jazz over at Red Panda Reads to do her own original Red Panda book tag. If you want to see her original video of this book tag, I'll put the link below this video, so check it out. Jazz is an amazing booktuber and a wonderful person, so really go give her channel a look. Before we get into this book tag, don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see it as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. And if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It means the world to me, so thank you guys so much. Alright, let's do question number 1. Name your favourite fictional animal companion. This was actually really hard for me, partly because I adore animals and therefore I just love any book with an animal companion in it, but also I couldn't choose between two particular favourites, and that is Errol from Guards Guards and Grebo from Witches Abroad, or basically any of the Witches books. First of all, Errol. Errol is a miniature dragon from the Dragon Rescue Centre in Ankh-Morpork. He's a little bit weird, is Errol. He leaks acid, he hiccups fire, you know, he seems a bit broken, and the guards at the Night's Watch end up taking him in. He kind of leaks through the floorboards a bit, he sleeps in the fireplace, but he ends up being the hero of the whole story. As for Grebo, my second animal that I couldn't decide from, Grebo is Nanny Ogg's cat. I don't think I can describe Grebo any better than Pratchett, so this is his description. To the rest of the world, he was an enormous tomcat, a parcel of incredibly indestructible life forces in a skin that looked less like a fur than a piece of bread that had been left in a damp place for a fortnight. Strangers often took pity on him because his ears were non-existent and his face looked as though a bear had camped on it. They could not know that this was because Grebo, as a matter of feline pride, would attempt to fight or rape absolutely anything, up to and including a 4-horse logging wagon. Ferocious dogs would whine and hide under the stairs when Grebo sauntered down the street. Foxes kept away from the village, wolves made a detour. So Grebo is Nanny Ogg's cat, and he is scarred, he is deadly. And again, in this book, he does so much for the story and it is just so wonderful. Another one, I mean, to be honest, they're both Pratchett, so if you haven't read Pratchett, read at least one. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, it's very fantasy and fictional based, it is a comedy, but the characters he creates are just amazing. And yeah, my favourite animals, we're going to go with Errol and Grebo. Question 2. Name a book that's made you think differently about a serious issue. I'm actually going to say one of the books that Jazz actually lent me. If you haven't seen, we did a book swap challenge where we challenged each other to send 3 books of a particular type, and one of the ones that she sent me was Moonrise by Sarah Crossan. This book, although it didn't change my mind on a serious issue, it did highlight the general world of poverty and what you will go through in that situation and what you will grasp at. You know, gambling is huge when you're poor, and it's because it's the last resort. Or even if you're not poor but you're down on your luck at the moment, you're having a rough time, you're more likely to gamble. You know, it's just something you do because it's the nearest thing you can think of to get out of the situation that you're in. So for question 2, definitely Moonrise by Sarah Crossan, and Jazz has definitely made a new Crossan fan. Question 3. Name a book where a character is forced to leave their home. For this one, I chose 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. In this book, the lead character, Shiori, is forced out of her home and is cursed. The whole book, she must try to save the kingdom whilst trying to return to somewhere almost impossible to get to under her current situation. It's a fantastic book. It is a new one from 2021. If you haven't read it, go get it. It's a lovely, easy to read fairy tale, but with a modern kick-ass lead female character. I love it. Give it a try. Question 4. Talk about a book that discusses gender. For this, I said Monstrous Regiment by Terry Pratchett. I swear I read more than Pratchett, I honestly do. In Monstrous Regiment, the dwarf who works for the Night's Watch is transgender. They prefer she pronouns and dress with makeup and things like that, though with the dwarf's beard, which they all wear in order to avoid something in the dark. The Terry Pratchett series of the Night's Watch, so Guards, the Night's Watch, Monster Refreshment, have all been combined to do a BBC special recently. It's called The Watch, so either read some of the Pratchett books, especially the Night's Watch, Guards series, or if you just want to see what Pratchett is in a general, more modern idea of it, then watch The Watch on BBC iPlayer. Question 5. Name a book that does something interesting with technology. I've actually lent this book out at the moment, so I don't have it in physical form, and that is Dune by Frank Herbert. Now, it has a lot with this book. I have done a review on it. If you haven't seen that, the link is above. You know, it's a sci-fi written in the 1960s, so it has sexism issues and things like that, but it is, in terms of characterization and world building, one of the best sci-fis I have ever read. Now, one of the reasons I don't read more sci-fi is because of the sexism and generally the lack of characterization. I find that Frank Herbert's Dune does this well, as in the characters feel real. They're all grey characters as well, in a time where that wasn't normally normal to write. And the technology in the world is just so interesting. I mean, they have the still suits to collect all the moisture from your body, which is then recycled so that they can drink it, because Arrakis is a desert planet and they need the water, and water is just so important to them. They also have, you know, the usual force shields, but this was written in the 60s when these were still new things. Everything he writes about makes sense. I won't go into more detail on it, but if you do want to see a review on Dune and of the new film of Dune, which I saw, which I was so excited about, the link is above and below this video. Question 6. Name a character that always walks headfirst into danger. I mean, honestly, this is the trope for so many fantasies out there. It's unreal how many main characters run into danger. I mean, pretty much all of them do. But the one I have chosen for this one is The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. I chose this one because Loch Lamora literally is the definition of trouble. Him and his comrades are thieves, they are actors, they scam and con. Even though they have enough money, they don't need to anymore, but they still do just for the game of it. And it does backfire on them. This is a series that if you haven't read, look into it. It is really, really good. But if there's trouble or something going down in this city, Loch Lamora is involved in it. Question 7. What is your favourite thing to eat or drink whilst reading? I don't tend to eat whilst reading, only because I find the movement distracting and the chewing things, it takes me out of what I'm reading. But I do like to drink, and I often would drink, if it's during the day, then just a cup of tea of varying types, or hot chocolate or matcha. Anything hot. But I would say my favourite treat, if I'm going to drink something as a treat whilst reading, is hot chocolate in its various forms. Question 8. Name a book that you've had for years that you can't let go of. I actually chose 3 for this, okay? And they're big. We have Winnie the Pooh, the complete collection of stories and poems. We have the Puffin Treasury of Classics. And we have the Puffin Treasury of Children's Stories. These 3 books are my childhood. And I mean young childhood. Would I still read them? Yes. I love these books so much. They're such cute stories. It's just nostalgia, people. They're so nostalgic. I mean, my partner's mum came around the other day, noticed them, and she was reading them. We read them to each other. They're not going anywhere, are they? They're staying put. Question 9. This is the final question. Name a duology that you have. I don't. This question, Jazz, is unfair. We've literally spoken of how there are hardly any fantasies which are standalone and definitely not duologies. They always come in 3s. They're always a trilogy. I can't find one on my shelves. I have no duologies. I have a lot of standalone now. I have corrected that. I have a lot of standalone. Patrick Rothfuss, I mean, he's taken so long at writing the 3rd. Can that be a duology? The story's not finished, but hey, he stopped writing it. And then number 10 is just tag a friend. So I'd like to tag Attention, who is a very good booktuber, and I'd love to see what they make of Red Panda Reads book tag. Again, the link is below if you want to see Jazz over at Red Panda Reads do the first ever introduction of her Red Panda Reads tag. She's a wonderful booktuber, and on her Red Panda book tag she has done information about red pandas and links to a charity for red pandas. Red pandas are her and her partner's favourite animal, and she made the tag in order to support that charity. I will put a link to the charity below as well, but for information I will not pretend to know anything about red pandas. I think they are adorable, but I am in no way qualified to tell you about them. I will leave that to Jazz because she has so much information in that video. I'd just repeat it. So the link is below to see her original tag. Thank you so much, Jazz, for tagging me in this video. I love doing this book tag. Thank you so much. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. I post general bookish pictures, as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.